What's good, Wagering World? It's your boy Five Star in Vegas, broadcasting live as always from beautiful Summerlin, Nevada. And here with my co-host, my guy, the only Sacramento Kings fan that I know. What's good, Spread Astaire? How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. Surprised that we're still talking some NBA. Thought we'd be getting ready for the finals. Lost my pick on the Heat last night, but let's go ahead and give some credit to the Boston Celtics for showing some fight there.
Yeah, you know that irritating city of Boston is feeling real good right now. They have a little something to reference to because the Boston Red Sox did this to the Yankees. I don't know if you remember that. They
Yeah,
were
I do
down
because
3-0.
I remember. I always tell my buddy this. The game from 3-0 to 3-1. He lived in LA at the time. He calls me after the game. Did you see that? That was amazing, right? Because did they,
Hmm.
had the runner on second, and it was late night, late 10th. I mean, years ago, I can't remember the details. But I said,
Hmm.
but it doesn't matter because they're going to lose the series anyways, so it doesn't matter. Little did I know
Yeah,
it was
right.
going to matter.
It was gonna matter. It was gonna matter a lot. Man, let's get to the past real quick.
Oh, right. So, yeah, I basically, I'm surprised. I lost on the Heat multiple ways last night. I guess so. Here, let's talk about this real quick because the main thing that I want to ask you is: was this because Gabe Vincent didn't play? I mean, does he mean that much to this team, or is this team just getting tired? What did you see there, and why did you think that the Heat went from we were already looking forward to a Heat Nuggets finals, and now this team's in danger? What did you see?
I see that the Heat have supreme confidence that they're going to finish this in six. And the reason I say that is because after the Celtics came out hot, they kind of pulled off the gas really early in this game. I saw that by the minutes that he was given to Highsmith and stuff like that. So I know that they were missing Gabe Vincent, but still, Highsmith doesn't get that much run. He's launching threes and stuff. Celtics just got hot. Second straight game, as we've talked about before. And that's why I should have known either to stay away from this game or the later points because, one, the public was all over the Heat with us. But two, and most importantly, the Celtics win one way only. It's front runners. They get up on you early, they blow you out. They get confident. They make their shots. I don't think Derek White's going to have this type of game in Game Six. I don't think that um, Jason Tatum is as dominant when they go back to Miami. Um, you heard Jimmy Butler in the interview. He's not worried about it at all. He said that they're going to win in Game Six. They know that their title hopes depend on Game Six because if we get to Game Seven, it won't even probably be close. Probably resemble a lot like the prior series when the Celtics were able to win a game six in Philadelphia and go home and take care of business pretty easily. So Miami, Jimmy Butler, this is your legacy right here, buddy. You know, I think if you get to another finals, you're grouped with that Clyde Drexler, uh, you know, little group of guys who are respecting the league very highly, and a Hall of Famer on the first ballot and are really respected by the players. You know, one of those guys who was more loved by the players and their fans for their game. So he needs to take advantage of this opportunity. We'll see what Eric Spoelstra does to counter. It seems like the Celtics have just chosen to go all offense now. It's like they're going to turn into a shootout. So now we got to figure out how Spoelstra counters that.
Yeah, I didn't know how much to take of it. So it was another one last night where I knew the result before I watched. And you spoke about the front runner nature of this team, and I saw that. It seemed like when that team got that early lead, everything was relaxed. It just felt like a party in the garden.
It was a
They had the
party.
crowd support, right? Because we also know that arena, not necessarily turn against you, but you've been in an arena where the crowd doesn't believe in the team, right? Because I've been in
Boston
it
will
too,
boo
rooting for the
them.
Kings.
They will
As soon
boo
as the
them.
game gets
Yeah.
close at the end, the whole arena, you get 17,000 people going, uh-oh, right? You never felt
Yeah.
that at all. How that first quarter really is going to mean a lot in Miami. And I got to give Boston credit because I said that, they would fold if they got down by 10 or more in game four. That didn't happen. And then, they didn't ease up. they went ahead and came out strong, and I felt that allowed them to get loose. Let's see how they do in a tight game. You look at the net ratings of these teams and why this was set like that, right? Boston blew teams out all year, while Miami had the most games that finished within 5 points or less of any team in the league, right? You know that I like to bet through 6 a lot. I didn't do that in Miami games. A lot of them were 5 or less. So we know that I felt that, hey, maybe that was some of Miami's advantage, right? They were used to playing these close games because they've been playing them all regular season. Well, the Celtics, right? I remember when they came into Sacramento. I mean, they come in, they win by 13, 14. We made a little push in the fourth quarter, right? But they played pretty comfortably the whole time. Felt like Miami had more experience under duress. So we'll see if they can create that again. I think starting hot is so important for the Celtics. So
and it's crazy. They started like that in the first quarter, and I made my biggest bet yesterday was Jaylen Brown to score over 5.5 points in the first quarter. He misses like his first 2 threes, shoots an air ball with one, hits one, and now it's like 3 minutes left, and he only has 3 points. He's missed a couple jumpers and everything. He's taken the most shots on the team, but all those points they scored, he only has 3, right? His coach does something he never does is sits him down with like 3 minutes left. Guess who starts the first beginning of the second quarter? Jaylen Brown. Guess what's the first play? Jaylen Brown for 3. I said, "Oh my God, that's this type of day we're in." So we got to shake that old all the jankies off right now, man. The jankies on us.
Yeah, I felt the same way, right? Because looking at the score, Celtics won by 13. I had to hit my Grant Williams over 6.5 points prop, right? They won by
Right.
13, right? Oh my, that one didn't even hit. He landed on 6, so it wasn't
Yeah.
the best night for us. But fortunately, we're used to it. I was at UPS. I told my buddy, and I'm like laughing. I said, "You know how much money I lost tonight?"
Right. Me
And I
too,
said,
man.
"You can tell I win a lot because I'm laughing about it."
Yeah, because I'm
Because you
laughing
just can't
about
win
it.
every night, right? I mean,
Nah,
and,
you
and so
can't win every night.
sometimes, and I didn't. Sometimes obviously a couple of those bad beats, especially on our props, but on the Miami, it's like, boy, I just whiffed this,
Yeah.
right? I just picked the wrong side, and give credit to the Celtics for coming through. So hey, that's going to be kind of a perfect segue here because that'll give us the first thing to talk about for the present, and that's tomorrow night's
Yep.
game. The
Yep.
Celtics favored by 2.5. Like I said, that's based off the fact that the Celtics blew teams out all year, and Miami played close games all year. I really don't think any of those earlier statistics matter. I think when you're handicapping these games, hey, I'm going to punch my numbers in the model because it's almost like comforts me, it grounds me. But I don't know how much I'm really going to use it. I think you watch what you've seen in these first 5 games, and then go from there. I thought, because everyone said, "Hey, what are you doing in Game 6?" I said, "I got to go home and watch it." I thought
Yeah.
watching the game would give me greater clarity, but I didn't necessarily feel like it did when I finished watching it back last night because I thought that first quarter was so important. And then
Right.
there was nothing that I saw that unnecessarily is going to make me say, "Hey, the first quarter is going to go this way in the next game." So how are you approaching this one with the Heat catching 2.5 at home in Game 6? It feels like could be the whole series. I would be really surprised if the Heat lost Game 6 and then won in Boston in Game 7. But it's the NBA, you never know.
Man, I'm really blessed that I've already set up a profit to be made. Remember, I already won the 2.5 when the series is over. They cash it at the end of the series, the plus 2.5 games with the Heat for the series. I have them at plus 400, and when they went up 3-0, I went and took the Celtics. So I'm in a good position now. I can enjoy it like a fan. I would rather see the Heat win. The money is about the same right by now on the profit because the Celtics were so astronomically, the number was really good. So I can't lose, but as a fan, I'd probably rather see the Heat. I'm just a fan of their culture. I'm a fan of Spoelstra. I'm a fan of Jimmy Butler. I just want to see the chaos that's going to happen in Boston. If they don't reach their potential, it's supposed to be a world championship team, and if they don't get out the East and lose to an 8 seed, I just want to see what happens with that team because I really want to see it get burst up because I feel like if they win the championship, they're going to stay together and they're just going to max out Brown and Tatum. So yeah, just hoping for a little chaos, rooting for the last underdog in here. Everybody else is the big dogs. So I would love to see the Heat win this one, but from a gambling point of view, I would probably take the Heat simply because right now everybody as this game nears is going to be moving towards the Celtics. All of the commentators on TV are talking about the Celtics now. They're going to come back and they're jinking them. You know how they do. They're all there getting as many people as they can and line up at the window and go take the Celtics. So I think the Heat comes back and breaks everyone's heart this Saturday and defends home court. They've only lost once, and that's the game prior to this. I don't know if Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler lose 3 straight games.
Yeah, it's so funny that you're rooting for the Heat and the chaos. As someone who grinds through that regular season, right? And you see me during the season at certain points, right? Really feeling the wear and tear. That's why I can't make these guys travel every night and do it.
Yeah.
I kind of want the Celtics to win just so the regular season matters. I mean, if the Heat win, how many teams are just going to be like, well, all we got to do is make the play? I mean, hey, they were down with like 3 minutes to go against the Bulls.
Yeah,
I mean, they were that close to being eliminated. I still keep going back to that game against the Hawks, and what an aberration. How did they lose to the Atlanta Hawks?
I mean, and that even goes back to, let's look at this. We always talk about is you so many things to go into winning the championship. Giannis, think about the type of ways looked at now, the type of pressure he would have received if KD would have been a couple inches more behind the line and that was a 3-pointer. Like he was trying to hit because he was gassed, but his long feet, he stepped on the line. Now the Nets may be defending champions this year with Kyrie Irving, Harden, and KD. Now the team isn't bust up. Now Giannis has all this pressure. It's that close. Like he was just talking about that. That's just how tight it is on success and failure.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I'll tell you what, I haven't made a decision yet. I'll let you guys know, and of course, I'll be doing the playbook and talking to Tyler as well. I think it's a tough game. I even though I didn't have success with the props, went 2-4, which was disappointing. I think that might be the better way to attack it. Were you surprised that Butler had such a poor game? That was one of the ones I missed.
I think he kind of mailed it in, and after he saw things were going a little haywire early, I think it was like, let's use this game to relax and rest myself and pace myself so that I could have my full, plethora of energy for what we're going to try to be the final wrap-up game in Miami.
Yeah, I'm for it. I'm looking forward to it. I'm glad it's on a Saturday night. Kind of, get the Memorial Day weekend started right. But hey, Boston gets it done. Game 7 on a Memorial Day. I'd love to see that. All right, we got a little more. Oh, you got this in the future, though. The French Open, the qualifying is wrapping up right around now, and the main draw begins for us on Sunday, and that's us as being American viewers. Pretty fun things going on there right now, right? With a couple of the favorites looking a little more vulnerable than usual. So Carlos Alcaraz, of course, him and Novak are right at the top on the men's side. Iga Swiatek on top on the women's side. But like I said, I think she looks a lot more vulnerable than when she did last point in this year, because if I remember right, she had like an undefeated clay swing coming into last year's French. Looked more vulnerable this year. And I don't necessarily think it's because her play has declined at all. I think the other girls have gotten better. It's a lot of fun all over the place. But talk to me about your thoughts here on this French Open, men's side, women's side, and some futures you're placing right now. Because I'll tell you, I think one of the most attractive things about tennis betting is we love these futures bets, right? Like, I know we didn't get it, but that Lakers 50-1. I mean, how great would that have been, right? But you can get these in the course of 2 weeks now, right? And I'm not saying a 50-1 is going to win, but they're on the board and they're available, and they can get cashed out, even hedged out a lot quicker than, say, in August when we're going to be grinding those regular season win totals and stuff like that, right? It's going to take us 17 weeks to realize our profit, where we can do it in 2 weeks here. What are you seeing here on this French Open? Let's start with the men's side.
On the men's side, I like in the top half. I like Sissy Pass, man. I think he beats Alcaraz in the quarters, and then he gets Joker finally in the semis. He's had a lot of time off to think about things. This is his favorite tournament. This is the tournament that he wants the most, and I think out the players left that I trust him the most on clay right now. As long as he can get past Carlito, we know that Alcaraz is a phenomenal talent. But we'll see if he can sustain success. You know how hard it is to stay on top. So he'll be aiming to try to win this thing for the first time. This is the tournament everyone thought he was going to win. He ended up winning the U.S. Open,
Mhm.
but he's supposed to be the Prince of Clay. So we'll see this year if he can follow the guy that he looked up to in Rafael Nadal and get his first one on the dirt. Uh, Another kid from Spain. Also, I think Kasha Nov is one to watch. I like his draw. He has a really good draw right now. I expect him to make the quarters. I don't have the prices on the quarters. Do you have those prices?
I don't
Does
have
that
a
show
look
that?
yet. They go so late on offshore compared to the legal books.
Yeah, I do like Casanova to get to the quarters. I think that he can upset Rublev. He just beat him not too long ago and is all right head to head with him. He's plays a lot better in the big tournaments than he does. On the bottom half, I have Medvedev getting to the finals. I also watched Nicholas Jarry. He just beat Zverev a few hours ago today. I hate that I missed. I should have bet him instead of betting Nakashima, and it was a better price. But Jarry's playing really good. I think that he can make the quarters. Zverev should make the quarters as well. I think he gets by center. But I think that Medvedev is the guy. I think that he's finally found his footing on clay, and he feels like he's the best player in the world. So this is his time to prove it. He's right in that perfect age where you're at your best, right there, 26, 27. He's not too young, but he's still in his athletic prime. He's mature enough, so he's been on tour about 10 years. And I just think that it's right now, it's his moment. And I think that Medvedev outlasts Sissy Pass in the finals. I have Medvedev on a ticket for plus 1400, and I also have um, Sissy Pass for plus 900. This went down to 700, so I'm glad I got it when I first got it. Now, hopefully, they match up in the finals and I can win either way. But that's the way that everything's set up right now. I was lucky because the draw wasn't out when I bought those two investments. So, in a good spot with that, with them being on opposite sides of the draw. And I think that Medvedev outlasts him, really. I believe that it's one of those situations where Sissy Pass goes up early, but mentally, he folds, and then Medvedev makes enough plays and plays consistent enough to win his first French Open.
Yeah, that price changed because I thought that Stefanos got a nice draw.
Yeah,
Of all the big names, I think his section is the friendliest, and of course, we know how much that matters. He looked pretty good in Rome too, so this is a great opportunity for him, right? No Nadal this year,
hmm
right? There's not that giant shadow hanging over the draw
yeah,
that we usually have. So I'm going to be excited to see how Carlos does because I think this is a great opportunity for him. You mentioned him being, the Prince of Clay, right? This is his chance to grab that crown,
yeah.
to sit on the throne. So I want to see how he does with probably a little more pressure, right? Because like I said, that shadow's gone, and with shadow being gone, where's the light going to go? The light's going to go to
Exactly.
Carlos.
Straight to him. Straight to him. Was before he was kind of like the up and coming guy,
Yeah.
the fan favorite type situation. But I got five can't miss first round men's matches that everyone needs to tune in to. One of them is going to be Benoit Paire versus Nori. I know that Paire is up and down player. He's crazy as can be, but he can really play on clay, man. And Nori has been up and down. He just got smoked today by Sorrendello. I had Sorrendello in that match, and I think the pair with the home crowd behind him, how rowdy the French get behind their guys, he might could pull off an upset at a high number. Fognini, I think he can beat FAA. They match up in the first round as well. Fognini is a really good um, clay player. FAA hates clay, struggles on clay. He has a really bad winning percentage on clay, and I think that he can go home in the first round. The guy that just broke my heart, Arthur Fields, plays Davanovic Fokina. That's going to be a great match. Davanovic Fokina is always plays with a lot of energy, gives his all, and Fields going to have the home crowd with him. He's France's favorite son on the tennis court right now. Really good player, has a lot of weapons, a lot in his bag, man. If he can stay healthy, he can make some noise. Then we have Monfils against Baez. Monfils, is probably the most popular guy there. Probably between him and Songa that just retired, they're probably the two top guys that ever come through France since Yannick Noah, of course. But he faces off against Sebastian Baez. We know Sebastian Baez has made some noise on clay, but I believe Monfils can pull up the upset. The old line can find one, push inside himself to get a victory. And then lastly, Draper versus Echeverry. Draper's a really good player out of Britain. He plays pretty well on clay. And you got Echeverry, who's really been playing really well. Thomas Echeverry, he's moved his way up to the main draw now, and he's been playing real good lately. So I expect that one to be a tight, tight match, man. All right, let's look to the women's.
All right, who you liking on the women's? You know that I like Swiatek. I know that she's chalky, but I know you have different ideas over here. Who you liking on the women's?
Well, she has in the top half Rabikina. She'll face Rabikina in the semis. They put them right in the same bracket together. So Rabikina has a really clear path. I think the only person that she's gonna have a issue with Ignaskova. The rest of them is pretty easy till she gets to Swiatek. And then you got to watch Kalinini, man. Kalinini, I think she upsets Coco Golf in the third round. She's been playing really well. If her body holds up, she's a really good clay player. And I also think she beats Kudermetova if they end up playing again and possibly in the fourth round. So I like Kalinina to make the quarters. I'm sure it's a really good price. I like Rabikina to reach the quarters as well. On the bottom half, surprised, I think my girl Sabs goes down to Caroline Garcia. I think Caro, they've set up to finally get to the finals and win it. She has a really opportunity to do it. She'll be facing my girl Rabikina. Rabikina's really good, but Carol's going to have that home court advantage. I think she can definitely upset Sabs in the quarters. She beat her in Dallas at the WTA finals. And then also, you got to look at the top half of the bottom draw. And you got Muchova. If she can get um, through Sakari, I think that she can make some noise too. She can make it all the way to the semis. I think if she has to play two up and down players who are powerful and really good players, but you never know which one of them you're going to get. And that's Potapova and Samsonova. They're right in her way, but I think Muchova is too consistent for both of them and can make a deep Grand Slam run. If one of those
I think
girls
that's
win,
rough to play her early.
who Muchova?
Yeah, I'd rather. I want to play soccer in the semis.
Now, I
She's the
think she
number
could
one
beat. I
player in the
think.
world,
I
so she
think.
gets to the semis.
I think Bukova beats Sakari in the first round. I really
Yeah,
do.
let's see how that
She,
one goes. She
yeah,
just
yeah.
always seems to be so good at the beginning of every tournament. You get your hopes up, and then just stinkers in the
Mukova is a
semis or in the
really
final.
solid player. She got so much game, man. She has a lot of game. But as I said, I think in the finals, Rabikina outlasts Garcia. Garcia had a crowd with her, but I still think Rabikina, excuse me, wins her first French Open and kind of stakes claim to being the number one player in the world. And the women's matches that you guys need to keep your eyes on, I think that Andreescu can upset Azarenka in the first round. I think Soticerita, or however you say her name, the Italian girl, the little crazy girl from Italy that's always
Who?
talking to herself. Socerita, Soceretto or something. She's an Italian name.
Oh,
She
Elizabeth
plays
Cocciaretto. I'm
Cocheretto.
probably
There it
saying it
is.
wrong now, but I know I could
Yeah,
tell her name
whatever it
in my
is.
head. Yeah.
Cocheretto. I think that Cocheretto, I think that Kevitova is upset by. If you look at it, Cocheretto has really been playing good on clay, and Kevitova, I think the deepest she's been in the French is the second round. She doesn't play good in pairs. Um, Kirsty versus Paulina. Kirsty better be careful in that one. I already told you I like Mukova to upset Sakari. I like Lynette to upset Fernandez, a small upset. She might even be favored. I haven't seen the line yet. Collins and Pagula will be a really good match. They always play hard against each other. They'll be in the first round against each other. Niemeyer might upset your girl, Dasha. Niemeyer made a really good run at the French last year. She's up and down, but she has a really strong offensive game. When she's on, she's hard to break. I think that Sloan can beat Pliskova too. Pliskova's another one. She hates the clay. She doesn't play well on clay. We know Sloan has a
I don't
really.
think she's that bad on clay, actually.
she's not that bad, but she's not that good either. I bet she has about a 50% winning percentage on clay. She's not like she is on hard courts. You know how she used to be, especially with that strong form and serve. And lastly, my girl Sabalenka has to be careful. She has Koshuk in the first round. The Koshuk is an up and coming player. She's up and down, but when she's on, she can really give you some problems. So once again, I think I have Rabaikina to win it all and Medvedev to win it all. I call Rabaikina at plus 600.
All right, yeah, that should be a lot of fun. I'll be interested there. I actually don't like Sloan very much against Pliskova, but I liked a lot of your other spots there. Yeah, Kostyuk Sabalenka, that'll be interesting because Kostyuk has been very outspoken, so there might be a little extra drama around that
Extra
match.
drama. Ukraine against Russia. Yep.
Yeah, so and she's been pretty outspoken. I wonder if that factors in at all either. You know, who's one of my favorite dark horses, right?
Who?
Love Madison Keys at the French Open.
What about Ostapenko, man?
I like her
Ostapenko has
too.
that. She got a good little. I seen her path. Only I forgot who I thought she was gonna lose to, but it was somebody she can beat. She could beat him though. Even though I picked the other girl, she could beat him. I could easily see her. I think it was
Who did
Caro.
you
I
put?
think I had her losing to Caro. I think I had her
Oh,
losing to
okay.
Caro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because she's gonna
which we could
probably
see.
she'll probably play Peyton Stearns. I think she's been playing better than Siniakova right now. I'm assuming she beats Martinkova. Then she's going to play the winner versus Vondrousova and Kasatkina. I think that she'd be much better against Dasha there
Yeah.
for Ostapenko. Yeah, and then she'd play Caro unless Caro were to lose to. I don't know. I don't really think Svitolina is going to do much. Trevisan, I'm not worried
Nah,
about.
she's not healthy
Reyes
enough yet.
Diaz could only beat Caro if Caro doesn't play well,
Yeah.
which is always a possibility.
A possibility because she gets nervous at the French, you know. So
Yeah.
um, she want to do so good, you know. So, but I think if she gets rolling, man, and she gets confident, she's been became one of the best ladies players at holding her serve in all the WTA, you know. So
Yeah, she had the highest hold percentage last year, if I remember
exactly.
right.
Yeah. So, I think
Um,
that, she might can do something because the great thing about tennis right now, just like seems like all our sports in America and beyond, is that anybody can win it. It's really the days of a dominant team that you just, oh, nobody's going to beat them. Those are over, man. It's pretty much anyone can win in tennis now, and it's football, basketball, baseball. Exciting time to be a sports fan.
yeah. So, but we've done a pretty good job of adjusting to the market. I feel.
Oh,
I
of
mean, we
course.
continue
Yeah.
to find the winners, and it's
Yep.
just a little different here. It's funny. I feel like there's so much value on underdogs 10 to 15 years ago, and then all these podcasts pop up, right? And a lot of them, right? And we don't need to say names, right? But they'll basically just insinuate that you're a square if you take the favorite, right?
Yeah,
If I'm like,
crazy.
oh, I'm on the Bills -7, like, oh, you're on the square side. It's like, so now there's this kind of what do they call them? Pseudo sharps that just bet every underdog. So there's less value in just betting the underdogs and stuff. So the market changes, and I think the media has a lot to do with it, right? And, with these podcasts
That's
coming
why
on
it's
and just
important we grow this, man, and that
yeah,
we grow the sports betting show that we have because, for one, it's a lot of bad information in these national uh, publicized sports show. You see, every time they do one, they try to do a betting show. It doesn't last because the numbers are so down. Because real guys that bet, they know who to go to. They're gonna go find guys who know what they're speaking about, and it's not a large market outside of the betting community, but you have to cater to the betting community. You need more diversification in the betting community because there's a lot of different people to bet sports and just better information, man. There's no such thing as a square side. The only side that matters is the winning side.
yeah, that's exactly right. So, all right, there we have it for the French Open. I'm going a little chalkier than you. We'll see how it turns out because overall for tennis, sometimes the finals can be chalky and the overall tournament can be chalky, but there's so many upsets along the way. And that's why, talked about targeting underdogs, but tennis, right? Still I'd say an untapped market where there's not a bunch of people touting underdogs every single day. And I think the other thing is a lot of people like to moneyline parlay the favorites,
Yeah.
which gives you nice odds there when we're taking dogs. So we'll be doing that, throughout the French Open. And I know you'll be tweeting out a lot of plays. Great draw. I mean, great potential here.
Yep.
For a great second week. So, but it never turns out like you think, right? It's not all, it's not going to be like,
it never. It's
yeah.
always somebody that takes off that
So,
you've never heard of before. That gets hot on that clay, because a lot of those lucky losers and qualifiers are coming in from different circuits, and they're going to be, they've been playing clay the last
and
4
they played
months.
on this particular surface.
Yeah, exactly.
So. Right, so there's our preview, but we're not done yet. We're going to give the people some winners in the Ball and Parlay. What do you got for us?
All right, man, we got to get some winners. I did not like what happened last night. They got us with the reverse janky, and the sweep wasn't good. So now what we got to do is sweep them back, man, and we're going to get the books today. We're going with the Astros, man. Got to roll with the good guys. Have been straight out the last 2 games. No runs. Tonight's going to be the first night they play Altuve and Dubon. Dubon is right now probably the AL MVP. I think he's up there. He's got to be a candidate, one of the best hitters in baseball, and we got the best hitter in baseball, Altuve, back. We smacked the Athletics over the past, and I think they get some act right tonight. Let loose a couple runs for how they've been held back the last couple of games when they went Milwaukee. So take the Astros to dominate the A's tonight, -1.5. It's at a high -150, but I expect the Astros to win by multiple runs. We're also going to go with the Red Sox first 5 innings. Make sure that you got Chris Sale in there pitching. He's been on fire the last 2 games. Really been pitching well. We know this is a former Cy Young winner. The Red Sox have bats. And I think that their bats are going to do just enough for us in the first 5, and then Sale to be able to hold the opponent down. So go Red Sox first 5 innings. And lastly, we got to go to the USF field. We've been smoking hot, me and the clients. We just can't wait till Saturday. I really don't need to bet all week. I should just hold all my money and wait till Saturday and on the USF field. So we're going with the Memphis Showboats +3.5 against my Houston Gamblers. Big coaching advantage with the Memphis Showboats. They have Todd Haley. Todd Haley is light years ahead of most of these coaches. Curtis Johnson does a really good job for Houston Gamblers. He was a former Tulane coach, but the stuff that Todd Haley's been able to accomplish with this team, they just needed a quarterback, and now they have Nicole Kelly. They've been dominating. As I told you, I have them to win the USF Field Championship at +900. The books have still not caught on. I would not be surprised if the Showboats win straight out, because the money line's only +135, but we're going to take the +3.5. The risk isn't big enough. If it was the normal +160, I would probably be on the money line. So we're going with Astros -1.5, Red Sox first 5 innings, and the Memphis Showboats +3.5.
All right, there you have it. That's the Ball and Parlay for today. Maybe you see us Monday. Maybe a little bit of a break. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. I plan to be on Monday at the pool, so if we do it, we're going to have to do it for the pool, and I'm sure that my kids going to be tackling me because we'll be outside at the pool, man. We're going to be enjoying doing some cooking and enjoying life.
One in there. Yeah, I might be working that day too, so. But we might not even need it. Let's see what Jimmy does at home tomorrow night.
Jimmy just said at the last interview, we're not going to need it. So, hey, guys, best of luck to you all tonight. Tune into the Wager World on Monday. Enjoy your weekend.